Hi dear Truth Warriors, welcome back to the channel. I'm Petra Van Dale. I'm a life coach, breathwork practitioner and an advocate for survivors of narcissistic and emotional abuse. Today I want to specifically focus on I have 10 red flags of a narcissistic friendship, because I think it's very important when you have come out of a toxic friendship or narcissistic friendship that you don't fall into that trap again. And just to say up front, abuse, any kind of abuse, is never your fault. It has nothing to do with your level of intelligence, because so many people have said, well, I'm intelligent, I have a great career, I've got my life in order, and still I fell for these toxic friendships. It has nothing to do with intelligence. If anything, it has a lot to do with your emotional intelligence, the wounds from your past, the standard you have for your life. And if those are not clear to you, if you're not clear on the standard, on your values, on your boundaries, on how much you hold yourself in high esteem, then that is when you can fall into the trap of a manipulator, of emotional abuse. So I have just written down 10 red flags, and I'm sure I could find very many more, but these to me were the top 10. Again, just going through old emails. I keep all of my old emails from years ago, and just reading through them, where I recognized the emails. I'm speaking of the emails that I had with the narcissistic friend in my life, or ex-friend, thank goodness, is that I could then pick out from stuff she had written and just recollecting conversations we'd had on the phone or spending time together, where I could then start to tick all the red flags that showed up right in the beginning of that friendship. But I just did not listen to my intuition. So there's a big one. It's always when you see something, you're observing, and your intuition says to you, there's something not right about this picture. Listen to your intuition. It is your inner guidance system, one of the most important things. Because logically, of course, your mind is going to try and talk you out of certain situations, make you doubt yourself to some degree. But your intuition always has your best interests at heart. So there's a lesson right there. Always listen to your intuition. So to start it off, the first red flag is that when you meet these friends, more often than not, is that they are larger than life. They are vibrant. They present themselves as being extremely confident. They have a way of talking that just intrigues you and keeps you wanting more, so to speak. So there's a lot of vibrance going on there. They are very much larger than life when you first meet them. Now just remember that this is a mask. It's a cover-up, because this way of being larger than life is only something that they can maintain for a limited amount of time, because it is not part of who they authentically are. So they can put on the mask, and then at some point, once they realize or notice that they have reeled you in, then the mask comes off. So the first red flag is that they are larger than life. You are just so intrigued by this person. You find them fascinating. All of the good stuff that that we feel attracted to. Just to say, the good stuff that you are attracted to in this potentially toxic friendship are the traits that you have that they are mirroring back to you. Because this is what a narcissist does, is that they will first scan you, scan your body, scan your thoughts, scan everything about you, the way you present yourself, and this is what they're going to borrow from you for a while so as to reel you in. So you are rarely seeing yourself through their behavior in the very beginning. The second red flag is that they make you feel that they have been waiting for you their entire lives. With one of the narcissistic friends that I had, we had met, and about 2 meetings later, she said, I have been praying to Jesus to send you into my life. I have been wanting to have this solid, warm, healthy friendship, and I've been praying for it, and Jesus sent you to me. So when I first heard that, I thought, isn't that endearing? Isn't that just so sweet? Now I know it's all a cover-up. It was all a cover-up. There was nothing true about that. Or maybe she had been praying, but not with the right intention of establishing and maintaining a healthy friendship. I would pretty much say that her intention was to find someone who at that point in my life, I was very gullible, showed up very vulnerable, which is a great trait. It's a very strong trait. But when you don't have your boundaries up, then it can become your downfall in certain situations. So they've been waiting for you their whole lives. They are so happy to have you as a friend. They just shower you with love and attention, gifts, all of the good stuff that maybe you have been longing for a long time in a friendship, and now it's presented to you. So again, this is one of the red flags, because when you are entering into a healthy friendship, you get to know each other first. You don't exude all of this wonderful and good and vibrant and all of that stuff. You're just sort of going to take things very slowly, which is what a healthy friend would do. Take things slowly, get to know each other, get to know each other's likes and dislikes, values in life. And from there, the friendship has a chance to grow, to evolve. And those are the good friendships, because it's a slow burning love. And it's one that will just strengthen over time. That is the healthy friendship. So again, just to go back, I divert. Just to go back to the second red flag, I'm sorry, is that they will make you feel as if they've been waiting for you for the longest time. The third red flag is that they overshare about their life, about themselves, so as to gain your trust. So of course, when someone overshares and tells you all the intricate details of their life in a very short period of time, whether that's the first time that you meet or whether it's in a matter of days or a couple of weeks and you know almost every single thing about this person, that is to simply gain your trust so that your guard is let down. Because when your guard is down, then you will enter into this friendship without a fight, of course. And that is the whole intention, is not to enter into these narcissistic friendships with a fight. Because if there's a fight, that means that you have followed your intuition, you've listened to it, and your intuition has warned you, and therefore you steer away from these people. So again, it is to win your trust. The fourth red flag is that they scan you. They ask you a lot of questions about yourself, about your life, your children, your family, the kind of work you do, and this they will do very quickly. Same thing happened to me, is that especially one of these toxic friends, as I've said before, I had 4 toxic friends in the period of 15 to 20 years. But this one in particular that I so often refer to in videos was extremely toxic. So within a very short space of the time that we had met in, I found, because of the way she asked her questions, because of the feeling of trust that she gave me, I just opened up about my past, about stuff I had done that I wasn't proud of, about my family, about my child, my daughter, about my relationship at the time. So I just opened up, which is something I would usually not do with a stranger that I've only known for a very short period of time. But this, again, the scanning and asking you questions is to zone in on your vulnerability. So when they recognize that there are several weak spots, they view them as weak, because vulnerability, again, as I just said, is a very strong virtue. It's a wonderful virtue to have. But when the narcissist knows this, that you have soft spots, that you have painful spots through painful experiences in your life, they will take note of this mentally and come back, circle back to pour salt in the wound at a later date. So they always use this kind of information against you. The fifth red flag is that they bring a lot of chaos and drama into your life. And it may not be the first or the second or the third time you meet up with them, but very quickly into that friendship, they are going to open up the floodgates on the chaos and drama. So to give an example, this toxic ex-friend of mine, there was a lot of chaos and drama surrounding her child at the time, the relationships that she'd just gotten out of and the new relationship she was getting into, her work. There was a lot of chaos there where she said people were stealing work from her, were stealing her ideas, I don't know, there were all these so larger than life stories, which made me feel sorry for her. I thought, oh my goodness, she has been through such a challenging time in her life. So let me stand by her side and help her through whatever challenges she's going through. So there was a lot of chaos, a lot of drama. And I remember that my intuition said to me, how can one single person have this amount of chaos and drama in their lives? She was fighting with co-workers, she was fighting with ex-lovers, she was fighting with her child, there was just a lot of stuff going on. And I thought, how is it possible? I mean, we all have some level of chaos and drama in our lives, but this was just over the top. Another red flag. The sixth one that I have written down is that they try to isolate you. This was done to me, again, by scanning me, by asking me all these questions about my life. At some point, she maneuvered her way where I realized that I was spending more time with her than I was with my family, with my mother, with my other friends. She would just have to click her fingers and I would go running, so to speak. So I was at her beck and call. And this is something that they intentionally do, is to isolate you so that they can zone in on you to then start the abuse, the mistreatment of you. They don't always succeed at this. And I remember that I was spending more time away from those that I loved with this toxic friend until one of the friends, my healthy friend, said to me, you're spending an awful lot of time with her. It seems that you're always in the background, you're always running, you're always there to help her. And we haven't seen you for weeks and months. So there was warning from one of my great and healthy friends. But this is what the narcissist will do. They do not want those that love you and those that you love to warn you against their behavior. So they will always try and isolate you. And if you refuse to be isolated, if you say, sorry, cannot meet up with you today because I have a meeting or I have an appointment with someone else, then that is going to add more chaos and drama, because how dare you have a life outside of our friendship, so to speak. Crazy people. The seventh red flag is that the friendship feels as if it's based on one-sided conditions. And what do I mean by that is that they base the friendship on what it is that they desire, what they need, what they want, their emotional needs. They decide which restaurant to go to. They decide what you're going to do that day, for the most part. If you contradict them, or if you confront them, or if you say, look, I cannot do the beach today, I'd really just like to chill out at home, for example, very silly example maybe, but this is not going to be met with understanding or respect for your wants and needs. This will be taken down totally. So the friendship is always one-sided. You're always running around trying to please them, giving in to them, being at their beck and call. An eighth red flag is that when the going gets tough, they take off. So, like the Billy Ocean song, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Not in this case, because they are not the tougher person. When the going gets tough, if there's a challenge that you're going through in your life, if there's just stuff you're going through, you need the support of a good friend, you want to be able to discuss what you're going through, talk about it, they will just take off. Because they don't like the fact that you are now, in this very challenging time of your life, the center of attention, that the spotlight is on you. This is what a narcissist does not like. They do not appreciate it. They want the spotlight to always be on them. So when you're going through difficult times, when you need that special friend, don't think that they're going to be there for you and support you through this. They are just going to take off running. And when your challenge has subsided or when you've dealt with it, then they will come back. So not a supportive friend. Narcissistic friends never are. The ninth red flag is that they are extremely competitive. And I saw this in my line of work because one of these toxic friends, we're in the same field, the same business, both in the coaching field, and there was a lot of competition going on there. So if I suggested something, she would one-up it. If I said this is what I did during my coaching career a couple of years back, and I told her about a situation I'd been through, or the tools that I use, or whatever it may be regarding work, she would always one-up that. And for example, if I was given a workshop and I said, oh, I've already had 5 people sign up for class, she'd say, well, I have 6. So it was always one-upping. It was always degrading my expertise as a coach, my knowledge, my experience as a coach. She would always bring that down and say, well, you need to do better, or that is absolute nonsense, that's so old-fashioned that you're still using those coaching tools. You need to upgrade your game, which on the one hand is great. Constructive feedback is great. But this was not constructive feedback. This was, okay, I see that you're doing a good job and now I'm just going to take you down. So a lot of competition going on there. And it may not just be in the area of work. It could be with mutual friends you may have, or even being competitive for the attention of your child. Again, this is another example, personal example that I can use, is that if I would spend time with my daughter, at the time she was young, she was 8 or 9 years old, and I would just give her more attention or sit and read with her or whatever was going on, this toxic friend would fight for my attention and be very competitive so as to take my attention away from my daughter. A very sick way of being. Very competitive. That is the 9th red flag. And the 10th and final red flag is that when they call you or when they want to meet up, it's usually just to talk about themselves. It's usually just to have the spotlight on them. So if they're calling you, it's never just to ask, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? Do you want to meet up? Or whatever normal, healthy friendships do. It's never about you. It's always about them. And they will call when they need something from you, whether it's to babysit, whether it's to house sit, whether it's to pet sit. A big one is finances. If they need a loan or if they need money from you, then they will give you a call and be all warm and loving and kind and understanding of what's going on in your life just to ask for the money. Now, this is a big one. This is something that I experienced very many times, and also people, clients that I've spoken to experience the same thing in their friendships, is that it was all about money. And then they would ask for a loan and never pay it back. Or they will say, just going through a very tough time, if you could lend me €100 or $100, I will get it back to you by day 5 or within a week. And that's it. It's not a loan. When you give that money, that's it. You've lost it, it's gone. Not very often will that money be given back to you? I never experienced that. So there's always a lot of financial abuse involved in narcissistic friendships. They take it for granted that your money is my money. They just take that for granted. It's ridiculous. You know, whatever you're making, you need to give me some of that. And I remember one time I was separated at the time, separated from my husband. I had a place, my own place with my daughter, and so was very frugal with my money, you know, trying to budget. And I was a smoker at the time, so I would buy my cigarettes, also budget that, and instead of smoking 10 a week or 20 a week, I would cut that to half, and you know, just get the small packets of cigarettes. In order to just make things fit into my budget. And this friend said to me, well, can you lend me 50 euro? I said, no, I can't really. I'm a bit tight with money at the moment. And she went on this rant of the fact that I would buy cigarettes, which were maybe 3 euro, just to give you an idea. I would buy those cigarettes, but I have the audacity to refuse her 50 euro. And I see, this is something else she said, I see that you bought yourself a new t-shirt last week. I think it was a t-shirt. I don't remember. It was something silly and stupid and childish. I see that you bought a t-shirt last week, so you can spend money on t-shirts and you can spend money on candy for your daughter, but you cannot give me 50 bucks. Just ridiculous. So at the end of that conversation, I was feeling so guilty. She had guilt-tripped me. She had shamed me. I was feeling so guilty that I went to borrow money from another friend in order to give the toxic friend the amount that she asked for. So in all of this, there is always blame, the blame game. There's a lot of shame involved, and they will talk you down so that you will feel something is wrong with you. You will feel guilty. You will do all that you can in your power in order to give them that money, for example. So all in all, toxic friendships, no, I've learned a lot from them. I've learned how to set my boundaries. I've learned how to hold myself in higher esteem. I've learned how to love myself more. And that is really the good thing that has come out of these toxic friendships. Other than that, there is very little good in them. So just be aware, as I said at the beginning of the video, when you feel that something is not right, and I felt it throughout these toxic friendships, I felt something wasn't right, but my ego got the better of me. My mind was playing tricks on me, saying, no, you're seeing the wrong stuff. You're observing it from a wrong perspective. There is nothing wrong with these friendships. And my intuition kept on saying, you need to get yourself out of these friendships. Something is not right. I did not listen to the intuition. So if anything, that's what I'd like to leave you with, is always follow your intuition. If it walks like a narcissist, if it quacks like a narcissist, it is a narcissist. You don't need to put up with this kind of drama and chaos and dishonesty in your life. You really don't. So you have the choice to say, no, I'm setting that boundary and I refuse to get into friendship with you. So you know, for next time when these people show up in your life, follow your intuition, think of the red flags, and keep yourself safe. Just don't get involved with these people. You know, you can have a great relationship with a toxic person from a distance. You don't need to be in their lives. They don't need to be part of your life. You can just observe them from afar. I hope that has helped some. If it has, please share the video. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and looking forward to making new videos very soon. Love to all of you. Take care of yourselves.